Okay, grade 4, let's explore coding. So we're going to continue to explore coding through the programs of bbot and microbit. So bbot is on the left and microbit is on the right. Okay, grade 4s. So this first activity is called Code Detective Activity, and I'm going to need you to do 3 things which are listed on the screen, okay? So let's jump right in. Okay, so for this activity, we're going to become code detectives, alright? Okay, let's dive in. So this is the worksheet that we're going to be working with for this activity. At the top of it, it says microbit block coding worksheet, okay? So I want us to go back a couple weeks ago and have a think about what we did in microbit, okay? I want you to have a think about what types of code we explored in microbit, what the different options might be, okay? So remember, we've got sequence, selection, and repetition as our 3 key topics for code that we've been investigating so far, okay? Now, I want us to make sure that we have a really clear definition of what these 3 things mean so we can make sure we're answering our questions correctly, okay? Okay, so we need to remember that sequence is the specific order that instructions happen, okay? So if you want to choose that sequence is the answer to one of these questions, it might be a set of instructions in the code, okay? Now, selection would be more like a decision being made, all right? It might be if then or if this, or it's basically something that has to decide on something, all right? So there needs to be a decision within the set of code, all right? Okay, now repetition is anything that repeats itself. It could be a continuous repeat, or it might be a repeat for a couple of times or a specific number, but it will just be repeating something, okay? Now that we have a refresh of what each thing might mean, I want us to have a look at this worksheet and start just going over each question and thinking about what it might be, okay? To do this, we're going to have a look at question 1 together on the screen, and I want us to start thinking about whether this might be selection, sequence, and repetition, and why it might be that, okay? So, the first thing we can look at is what does it say at the top? So, in this code bubble on the screen, it says on start. So that's giving a direction, but we need to check if it has anything else in it as well, okay? So it says on start, show icon, play tone, show string hello, okay? So that sounds like a lot of direction, a lot of instructions to me. But we also need to check, does it have, is it repeating itself? So no, there's no repeats in this one. It's basically just a list of instructions. And it doesn't say if or then anywhere in this code either. So that points me to think that this code is, what do you think? Quickly write it down. In 3, 2, 1, that's right. This set of code is sequence because it is a list of instructions that gives direction on what to do, okay? All right, now I want you to go through each of these questions and have a think about what it might be and why it might be that. Justify yourself when you're making the decision. Really think about, is it repeating itself? Is it making me make a decision? Or is it just giving a list of instructions? Okay? Have a go.
Okay, Year 4, you have now mastered the art of coding. We are now going to move on to sequencing. Now it's your turn to become a programmer. You will each complete your own bbot challenge. You have all been sent a selection of challenge cards. Your goal is to create an algorithm that helps bbot travel from the starting point to the correct destination. Before you begin programming, take a close look at the map. Think about the path bbot needs to follow. How many forward moves will it make? When will it need to turn? Pause the video now and write down your algorithm on your worksheet. Remember, an algorithm is a step-by-step set of instructions. Once you finish planning, resume the video. It is now time to enter your commands into bbot. Make sure you press the clear button first so bbot starts with a fresh program. Then carefully enter each command and press go. Watch what happens. Did bbot reach the correct destination? If not, don't worry. Programmers often need to debug their programs. Debugging means finding and fixing mistakes. Think about what went wrong. Did Bbot turn too early? Did it need another forward move? Make the changes and test your program again. Pause the video again while you debug your program and keep testing until Bbot reaches the correct destination. Once you have successfully completed the challenge, record your final sequence of commands on your worksheet. Before we finish, take a moment to reflect on your learning. Ask yourself, what strategy helped you plan your algorithm? What mistake did you need to fix? How did debugging help your Bbot reach the destination? Great work! Today, we've used sequencing, algorithms, and debugging, the same problem-solving skills that real programmers use every day.
Hi everyone, last lesson we learned about sequencing with Bbot, instructions in order, always happening the same way. Today we're learning something new, a coding idea called selection. Selection is when a program makes a decision. It checks something then picks what to do based on the answer. We call this an if-then. For example, if it's raining, then I take my umbrella. And another one is, if the traffic light is red, then I stop. If it is green, then I go. Each one has two parts, a condition and what happens because of it. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and think of your own if-then example, on your own or with someone at home. Press play again when you've done it. Alrighty, now that you've got your example, make sure you bring them to class. Computers use exactly the same idea. In coding, this is called a selection statement. The computer checks the condition and picks what to do, just like our umbrella and traffic light. Today we're going to build a real selection statement using a program called Microbit. Here's an example of what it looks like using selection. You'll get to try this yourself in class or with a partner. Before we go, here's a recap on what we are learning in class. That a program can make different decisions based on a condition, unlike a sequence, which always happens the same way. By the end, you should be able to explain the difference between a sequence and a selection, spot an if and then in real life, and build a simple if-then program. See you in class.
Great work, you four. Now that you've mastered coding, sequencing, and branching, it's time to do repetition of coding. Let's get into it. So you four, today's activity using the Bbot will be going through the life cycle of a butterfly. Your goal is to visit each stage in the correct order by making sure that you are creating an easy path for your Bbot and you're looking out for repeated movements while doing this. So just in case you forgot what repetition is, I'm just going to quickly remind you. So repetition means doing the same action more than once to complete a task. So for instance, for when we're doing the life cycle of a butterfly in this little program here, our Bbot, so starting at number 1, you would have to go up 2 times and across 2 times to get to number 2 of the life cycle of a butterfly. So we're repeating instructions and patterns in our pathway. Can you spot any other repeated movements in our path before we begin? Okay, year 4, before we begin programming, let's plan our path together of the life cycle of a butterfly. Remember, good programmers always think before they code. So with the person next to you, let's have a quick chat just by looking at, on my board here, which paths would you take to get to all of them from number 1 to number 7? Okay, turn to the person next to you and talk. Make sure you're looking for the best route for your Bbot to get around. Brilliant, you 4. Now it's your turn. On your iPad, you're going to open the Bbot online simulator and complete the butterfly life cycle challenge. Try to visit every single stage of the life cycle of a butterfly. And make sure when you're doing it also to have fun. Good luck, everyone.